The door slammed so hard the walls shook. The lights went out at the exact same second, and in the pitch-black hallway, a child's voice whispered my name even though I was completely alone. My heart tried to tear itself out of my chest. The air smelled damp, like old concrete and rust. I could hear my own breathing, loud and panicked, bouncing off the walls. My phone had no signal, no flashlight, no escape, and that's when I realized something was standing behind me. I didn't turn around because I already knew. Whoever it was had been waiting for me. And what you're about to hear tonight will make you question how safe you really are even in places you think you know best. She thought the past was buried. He believed the danger was over, and they all assumed the dead stay silent. But in each of these stories, that assumption was the final mistake. Because sometimes the truth doesn't rest. It watches, it waits, and when the moment is right, it comes back to collect. Stay with me until the end. Because the last story doesn't just end in fear. It ends in a revelation so disturbing, so personal, that once you hear it, you'll never forget it. The first story begins with a house that was too quiet. It was a small rental on the edge of town, cheap enough to raise suspicion, but clean enough to ignore it. Mark had just gone through a rough divorce. He wanted silence, no neighbors, no noise, just space to think. The first night, he slept like a rock. The second night, he woke up at exactly 3:07 a.m., not because of a sound, but because of the feeling, that heavy pressure on your chest, the instinct that tells you you're not alone. He lay still, staring at the ceiling, listening. The house was silent. No footsteps, no doors, nothing. Then he heard breathing, slow, shallow, right next to his bed. Mark snapped on the lamp. Nothing. Empty room. Empty house. He laughed it off. Stress, divorce, new place. That's what he told himself. But every night after that, it happened again. 3:07 a.m. breathing, always close, always slow. On the fourth night, he finally spoke. "Who's there?" He whispered. The breathing stopped, and a voice replied from the corner of the room, "You came back." Mark froze. I think you have the wrong person." Silence. Then the voice again, lower now, angry. "You promised you'd never come back." The lamp flickered. Once, twice, then it went dark. Mark ran, barefoot, straight out the front door. He didn't stop until he reached his car. He slept there until sunrise. The next day, he confronted the landlord. The man went pale. "You didn't hear that from me." The landlord said quietly, "But 5 years ago, a man killed his wife in that bedroom, smothered her while she slept. Then he disappeared." Mark felt sick. What happened to him? They found his body last year, suicide, a few towns over. Mark moved out that same day. But here's the part that still keeps him awake. 3 months later, he got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single sentence, written in shaky handwriting. "You still owe me." The second story starts in a hospital. Late shift, empty halls, flickering lights. Sarah was a nurse who had seen death more times than she could count. Blood didn't scare her. Screams didn't faze her. But what happened during one winter shift changed her forever. Room 413 had been empty for weeks. No patient assigned, no equipment inside, but every night at 2:15 a.m., the call button lit up. Sarah checked the system. No error, no malfunction. Someone or something was pressing it. The first time, she ignored it. The second time, she went to check. The room was ice cold. The window was cracked open, letting snow blow inside. The call button was glowing red. She stepped closer. The bathroom mirror was fogged, and slowly words began to appear, as if written by invisible fingers. "Help me." Sarah stumbled back, heart racing. She slammed the door and called security. They found nothing. No fingerprints, no damage, no explanation. The next night, the button lit up again, 2:15 a.m. This time, when Sarah entered the room, the bed sheets were messed up. Like someone had been struggling, she heard crying, coming from under the bed. "Hello," she whispered. The crying stopped. Then a voice answered, "They left me." Sarah dropped to her knees, shaking. "Who left you?" "The doctors." The voice said. "They turned off the machine. I wasn't ready." Hospital records revealed the truth. Room 413 had once held a young woman in a coma. Declared brain dead, life support removed at 2:15 a.m., but one nurse had objected, Sarah. She didn't remember it at first. But slowly the memory came back. She had argued. She had begged them to wait. And then she had signed the papers anyway. The call button never lit up again, but Sarah still hears crying under her bed every night at exactly 2:15 a.m. The final story is the most disturbing of all, because this one doesn't involve a haunted house or a ghost. It involves a mirror. Daniel bought it from a thrift store. Old, heavy, cracked along the edge. The woman at the counter warned him. "No refunds," she said. "People keep bringing it back." Daniel laughed. "Why?" She leaned closer. "They say it shows things that shouldn't be there." That night, Daniel hung it in his bedroom. At first, nothing happened, until he noticed something strange. His reflection was slow. When he raised his hand, the reflection followed half a second later. He blamed exhaustion. The next night, he smiled at the mirror. The reflection didn't smile back. It stared. Eyes wide, mouth slightly open, then it whispered, "You remember what you did." Daniel stumbled away, heart pounding. He hadn't told anyone, no police, no friends. 10 years ago, he had hit a man with his car and driven away. The mirror knew. Each night, the reflection changed. Bruises appeared. Blood dripped from its mouth. Its eyes filled with hate. "You left me to die," it said. On the 7th night, Daniel woke up to the sound of glass cracking. The mirror was shaking. The reflection was pounding from the inside. "Let me out." Daniel screamed and ran. The next morning, police found him dead in the street, hit by a car. The driver never stopped. And when the landlord cleaned out the apartment, the mirror was gone. Returned to the thrift store, waiting. These stories remind us of something terrifying. The past doesn't forget. Guilt doesn't fade. And some actions demand payment no matter how long it takes. If you believe karma always finds a way even in the dark, even after death, then you already know why these stories stay with us. Subscribe to the channel if you believe the truth always comes back, because the next story might feel a little too close to home.